Welcome to episode number 15 of the Speaking Podcast. I'm your host, Roy Collin, and in this episode I spoke with Erik Eklund, who's an international speaker and has also lived in 9 countries, so you will find some fantastic information that he has shared with us. As always, if you like what you're listening to, please share. Every episode is different, so if you like this episode and it's your first one, you can go back to the start and listen to all the different episodes. We would like if you could give us a positive review in iTunes or whatever platform that you listen to, and you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Speaking Podcast, and our website is speakingpodcast.com. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, this is Roy Collin of the Speaking Podcast, and today I'm with Erik Eklund, and Erik is coming from Barcelona, beautiful warm weather, to beautiful -8 or -9 degrees last night, because we're having a birthday party with one of the clubs and he's the guest speaker, so please welcome.
Thank you. Amazing weather.
I thought I'd have to thaw you out before.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I normally start with kind of tell us your journey from when you were younger, how you got to a speaking person.
How?
Like from being really nervous, or were you ever? Because sometimes people are just confident from a young age.
Okay. The general here is speaking is actually more than talking. Like I'm having a talk with you right now, and my main argument when I'm talking to people is try to think of it as you're talking with them. And instead of even, like I said, I talk to them when I'm standing up there, I'm actually trying to see myself as in I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not standing there to tell you something, and from me to you, you're supposed to listen only. And that makes it much more easy for myself to see the conversation as in I'm asking you a question, I have a response from you, and then I can work on that response. Of course, here comes the trick of knowing in beforehand what you're going to ask, so you can kind of assume what answers will come, right? Yeah. I see that many times that people ask a question and then they get an answer coming back and they go, all right, that's not helping, obviously. So spending some time at first trying to figure out what the answers might be, what's the purpose of the question at first. Yeah. But the whole thing, how it started with me was speak with people, speak with them as you're in their shoes. Meeting a lot of people working in the hotel industry has taught me that. In the cruise line industry, on front of stages, entertainment is very much being with the audience, right? Warming them up and making them feel that they are part of something rather than, observing something. They are on the outside and I'm on the inside. That's maybe why public speaking is very fearful, because we are seeing it as we are being viewed, we're also being judged, by others. But as long as we go to the supermarket, we're speaking to the cashier, we are going to the train station, we have to pick up a train ticket or anything, and we don't have any problem really speaking with a stranger. So why make this as a problem?
And you said like you were into entertainment industry. Were you? Yes. What exactly did that entail?
I started as a dancer in my life, so dancing and stage presence has truly helped me out to get ahead in the speaking industry. This made me feel comfortable of being in front of other people, the way I look, and learning all these tricks and techniques of when you're on stage, you think that people will look at you how you look a lot, but they don't. If you can say something that's truly come across as like wow, like inspiring and entertaining, he makes you laugh. When you're watching somebody do a comedy show, you mentioned that before, or you're watching a speaker who's really good, has something great to deliver, what's the color of his shoes? What's the brand of his belt? Or what's her hair color? Or how's her jewelry looking? You don't really pay attention to it, because all that energy that you give out through your body language, your voice and your thoughts, it takes over. And that I learned as in the entertainment industry, but also as an entertainer, you learn how to get your message across and how to get into the minds of the people.
Very good, very good. And was it always like that for you? When did you
No.
when did you figure out? Because like I realised as well, and I feel like speaking from the heart is kind of the main thing, that you're having a conversation. That's the way I do. But like for you, where was the click point? Because I know a lot of people, they're sitting on their chair, they're afraid to go to a meeting, they're afraid to talk, and
I can't pinpoint one click point when I went from "ooh, I don't like it" to "ah, I love it." I must say this. It's freaking scary many times today to stand up on a stage. When I'm called into a country where I don't know anybody, I don't get any information about the audience, I don't know anything, but I know myself and what I'm supposed to talk about, I'm still scared. Here's the thing though, I remember my mom and dad telling me, stop pushing your little brother up front when we were going knocking doors and selling cookies as scouts, or, you know, you're doing this thing to me, a little boy. And I remember mom and dad saying, stop pushing your brother first. You have to start speaking to people. Because at that time, I was very shy. And then slowly but surely, because of that pressure, and then also, okay, I have to sell my cookies. I will have to talk to people. I had to push myself a little bit forward and a little bit more forward and a little bit more forward. So it's successively became better. I still remember the first time I was supposed to go on stage doing some dance show. I think the click came when I realized just focus on yourself. Like what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to give the dance. I wasn't supposed to care about what they think about the dance. The same thing came, I remember last year even when I was giving a speech, and the words of someone said, Erik, you are good, but you could be so much better. There's something holding you back. And it stuck in my mind. And I went to one of those coaching seminars where it was all about believe in yourself. Every person on this planet makes decisions based on emotions. But the probability that the majority of these people will like you is slim. So don't even care about it. And once I realized that, this thing was just like, I don't care anymore. Then it changed a lot.
Excellent, very good. No, because I think a lot of people, you know, even if they make a mistake on stage, they're beating themselves up. They think people are going home spending their day talking about you being on stage.
Oh, yeah.
They will never talk about it again. They'll probably never think about it again.
Never.
The only person reliving that moment 100 times is you.
Yeah.
And you need to throw that away.
You had a very good point there with criticizing yourself. You sometimes, speak about me, I have been very good at being a perfectionist. I've been very good at that. So as soon as, if I plan something out and then it didn't work out exactly as I wanted it to work out, like, then I walk off that stage or I walk home and be like, oh my God, I didn't say that. That's so stupid of me. What did you really think? And I'm asking, I can ask for feedback. And I'm asking, okay, so what did you think about when I was saying X or Y? And the feedback is many times, oh, it was good. Yeah, but because I'm already biased in my brain, because I'm looking for something here. I just don't ask, for instance, how was this speech this time? It's just a very broad question. Now they have to define what they liked or didn't like without me pinpointing something to the PowerPoint, the microphone, the question I asked, anything.
Yeah.
So when I learned to stop criticizing myself, things got a lot better.
Very good. And I think some people, they'll start a speech saying, I'm extremely nervous, I'm not good at public speaking or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then they might deliver a good speech or even a very good message. You can tell they're nervous, but they won't accept the applause because they think you're being sympathetic.
Yeah, accepting praise is a big one. Even like some people were like, "Hey, great shirt, right? Where did you buy it?" People went to they can say that to me sometimes. They go, "Oh, stop it! It's from H&M," you know. And you cannot trying to denote yourself and justify yourself to not have such a good shirt. But that's just a metaphor for that's the same thing when you do something. When you speak, the same thing. Oh, that's such a great speech. Oh, stop it. That's nothing. But hey, it was, right? They thought it was. Okay, thank you so much. I'm humble. Helps a lot.
There's one guy mentioned that he actually puts on Evernote all the praise he gets, because we tend to do the opposite and just and then he looks at that and that gives him the confidence of actually, you know.
I have a OneNote full of feedback from, I get them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you know, just the feedback that I get, even person to person, I write them down as well. So when I'm doubting myself or having just a period in my life when I'm not feeling that well, I go back and I read what they said, and that's so powerful if I can allow myself, of course, to accept that.
Yes,
definitely. Other than that, then there's it's not really going to happen. But I also hear this many times, people telling me, oh no, I'm not that good, now I'm going to talk about this boring topic. Well, if you tell yourself that this is a boring topic, the probability that your talk, whatever you're about to do, a presentation here about that topic will be boring is high. You already told yourself it's boring, so okay, it's going to be boring. Right? Or if you're like, oh my god, I'm not good at speaking, but I have to do it anymore, and you stand up, subconsciously knowing that you're a bad speaker because you have told yourself that, yeah, you will most probably be a quite bad or okay-ish speaker then. So just get rid of all them. Like, tip really, start first by listing all those words that you say to yourself and burn the paper.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen anymore.
On Wednesday I had a speech, and the girl that was evaluating me asked me to send the stuff, and what I had said, it was like a 3 or 4 minute speech, which isn't typical because normally they're 5 to 7.
Okay.
And it was a social speech. I said, there's nothing important. And yesterday she pulled me aside and she said, don't you ever tell me it's not important. Every speech you do is important.
Yeah.
And I thanked her for it, because I was kind of brushing it off and thinking, this is nothing. And you know, sometimes to be kind of guided in the right direction helps as well. Like,
oh yeah, somebody keeps us accountable. And I mean, speaking, getting a mentor, coach, trainer, whatever you want to call it, a leader, somebody who can lead you is essential. And it's not only this thing of I still remember the first man, Jesus, I still remember him. He was so brutally honest in his own little charming way, but that helped. Having someone who always gives you a pat on the back and says it's gonna be that's good, that was great, oh no, that was even better, that's not helping at all.
No, and like when I do an evaluation, you obviously want someone that they want to come back the next time and speak against you. But you have to let them know if it was terrible. You can't pretend that it was a brilliant speech, but you can spot a few things that you like so that they can work on and everything. And there's plenty of times people would ask me to be their evaluator because it's being just open and honest instead of, like you said, because there's a lot of people, they fluff it up and they make it look so brilliant no matter how bad it was.
Yeah.
So.
And then once you get out there into, say, suddenly you have a talk in front of a bunch of strangers, there's no one who will fluff you off anymore.
No.
And the biggest feedback you will get is when the entire audience, or say a majority audience, suddenly are on their phones, they're talking to each other, or they're just sitting there with their arms crossed, like looking at you with these blank eyes, and you just feel it being like, okay, finish right now. That's the feedback you would get out there, and that's harsh.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
What I tell people in different clubs is I said, repeat the same speech in another club, because you get familiar with the group around you. And even though it's still a kind of positive environment, it's a different environment, and you're looking at different eyes that don't really know you. And plus you can take on board comments that you've got previously, and that tends to help. Do you find that repeating a speech, but every speech is going to be different no matter what you do, but with a new crowd.
It's a little bit different, but new crowd, new country, new gender, new age group. Yeah, that helps a lot.
And how do you connect, like when you mention that, because sometimes you could be speaking to people in their 50s plus, another time it could be teenagers. What's your trick for actually making a connection? Do you have a trick? What way do you try to find out beforehand?
I always, people say, you need to research your audience, and that sounds great. I'm always trying to do that, but with the years I just figured out, I'm coming into Woods right now. I'm always asking this question of, okay, so who's in the audience? As in, what's the average age of the audience? Is it mostly men or women? And then I was asking, did it pay? In that case, how much on average to come? That also give you an indication of what their motivation or expectations are. Mm-hmm. But then I have this trick of, I'm asking the organizer, what's one word you would like to summarize the event with? Like the entire event that I will be speaking at, just one word. If it's entertaining, collaborative, interactive, dynamic, whatever they might say, but then I get an idea of what approach I should take, regardless of not knowing the audience or not. And then I'm asking the question, and what would you like me to give them to walk away with? One thing. I know this is tricky because they are trying to tell you 5-minute long explanations of what they want from you. But it's about, okay, but one thing you want them to walk away with. And then it many times comes back to, okay, I would like them to have one practical tip on how to present with more clarity at work, for instance. Okay, this actually lowers your job a lot, or makes it way easier to complete the job. Give them one tip, but make sure that there's one powerful tip there, so it's not 15 tips, which happens a lot when you're out there. And you asked me, how do you then connect with the people in the audience? Now, once I know the expectations and of the event and what the audience are coming for, then I'm just trying to see them as humans. That's my connecting humans approach, as in, there might be a 50-year-old man who is the CEO for IBM. There might be a 50-year-old woman who is the CEO for Microsoft. And they might have paychecks that are very, very high. I don't really care, because one thing I know about you is that you are full of emotions. A CEO might have children. A CEO have to pay bills. A CEO have to go to the toilet, eat, breathe, sleep. All these things. So if I'm focusing on being human myself and leading with vulnerability, the more I connect with them.
Very good. And like with the different events that you're doing, like what's the kind of longest that you've done? Have you kind of done a few day events, or are they kind of couple of hours workshops and stuff? What's your typical kind of?
My typical or my?
Like I don't know your experience, so you can give me the different ones.
Okay, yeah, there's anything from when you're giving the 10 to 15 minute talk, which are truly tricky because they're so quick and you get 10 to 15 minutes to do everything in. And then you have the ones where there's like a full day. I've done the full day once. You do the full day once when there's like one day and then the next day, the other day. They are exhausting because here this is where the fitness comes in a lot into being a speaker. Many laugh at me when I'm saying this, but standing in front of his audience for 2 times 8 hours ish, and always delivering with full energy, smiling, being able to interpret and bring, read your energy, spot the questions and being on point, that requires so much focus. So the fitness level is essential. If that was the...
No. And so how do you keep fit? Let people know.
How do I keep fit? Like this morning I woke up at 7 a.m. The first thing I do is I have a formula in my mind that I call my body, my mind, my network, my money. So I always start with, in the morning, first things, and brutally honest, the phone is not going to be the first thing I do in 30 minutes. The first thing I do is I sit up in the bed. I'm not jumping up straight away. I'm just sitting up, and all those dreams I'm writing down. I'm taking a little notebook I have with me, and I'm writing down the dreams. So I have kind of 3 pointers of what I wrote in my dream. And then I'm trying to write down, what does that mean? Like, wow, what? Like the weirdest of dreams, but sometimes there's a correlation. Mm-hmm. There's something like, oh my God, okay, I could see it, I could feel it. And then after that, I go up and I either take like a 10 to 15 minute light jog, walk, anything to just get moving. I'll come inside doing really simple, like 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups. Very, very simple again. After that, I get ready, like, shower, brush teeth, and all that stuff, and I have a breakfast. This is really how I keep fit in on a daily basis. But on top of this, I go to the gym. I have work. I go for workouts. I play football often. I do my fitness training at least 3 times a week.
And that gives you plenty of energy.
Yeah.
No,
Because
it's a very valid point.
The whole thing of the body, a healthy body will take care of a healthy mind.
Yeah.
It isn't the opposite way around. Keeping that mind clear is crucial. And once they have a clear mind, I care about my network. The closest relationships I have, the closest clients I have, the warm leads that are waiting there for me, or the clients that I'm currently working with, that's the first ones that I'm caring about. I don't have a girlfriend now, but if I would have, that would be the first person I would be talking to and caring about. Because your relationship will take care of you and further myself out there, right? And then once the relationship is taken care of, it will kind of automatically bring in more money. So then I'm keeping on a daily basis like updates on my finances, cash flow, and all that stuff. But this is how I'm keeping fit on a daily basis, by following my body, my mind, my network, my money formula.
Okay, very good. And you mentioned doing an 8-hour. Like, how do you plan for that? Do you have like a PowerPoint that you have trigger points, or how do you actually structure an 8-hour speaking day?
How to structure an 8-hour speaking day? I'm using a lot of interaction. The one thing that I have kind of 40 on, 20 off kind of sessions. This thing of I'm always getting people to move, and myself as well. Like, one thing I do that I do differently from many is I always bring in music. We do anything from shaking our asses, 100% honest. We're giving hugs, we're doing eye exercises, we're high-fiving each other, we're doing group exercises. But these exercises I'm building in between slots. So I can be talking, and then I'm bringing in a slot of, okay, now we're going to shake this, but it needs to be connected, of course. So I'm not just randomly telling people to stand up and shake. It's related somehow to that transition to the topic I was talking about. So how somehow kind of building a network like a spider web, and each web is connected to one another. Mm-hmm. And in each connection point, I have transition where I'm making people move. Anything, they can just stand up and talking to each other, discussing, to actually jumping up and down, or running down the stairs and come up again. I might have come up with some little game before, anything, balloons, it's really there. But once we combine interaction with sitting down learning, so it's a very positive atmosphere. When we are smiling, we are laughing, the time goes past like this. Mm-hmm. Time flies, and they also recognize it, like, wow. I did a little trick once when I said, okay, so how many coffee breaks did you take? And they were like, none. I said, yeah, but how's your energy? And they were sitting there like, oh, you. But I did it because they just didn't think of it anymore. They didn't have to go for that coffee. It was in their mind. That
normally happens when people are bored and they just want to break, and they just want to.
We get to think. We get too much time to sit down and think. And it's not really in our interest, whatever it's talking about. But regardless, we're human beings, and we can't sit down and just take in information in our minds for that long. We gotta do something with it. Shake it up.
Exactly. And I go to a lot of events, and there's plenty of hugging and eye gazing and everything, and I love that. But I tried to do the hugging thing in say Poland, and not everybody. So how do you, if you have an audience that are kind of, it's not there, even the eye gaze, a lot of people can't do the eye gazing. How do you overcome, or do you just kind of say, this is what we're doing, and they kind of have no choice?
I take the lead. This is what we're going to do. There's no hesitations over here. I'm putting it up there. We're putting on the music helps a lot. Very, even from put on some kind of dramatic, deep music for the eye gazing, looking at each other's eyes, or TNT with AC/DC for getting up there. But this is a trick: picking songs that actually is popular to that audience group. Like me playing TNT or Thunderstruck for a group of 20-year-olds wouldn't really work as much as for those in their 50s, right? And say an opposite way around.
Yeah.
But it always get them moving, and I have people coming up to me saying like, I felt like I was part of a movie. That's good feedback.
Yeah. But I always find with people, once they do that, they always say, oh, if I knew I had to do that, I wouldn't have come.
Of course.
But they always say afterwards, I love it. And they will go 100 times to something like that because they get so much energy and the feeling from it. It's a pity it's not done more often, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you tell them before, they will not come. And you said like, but how do you do it? Like, I'm now in Poland, and trust me, you will feel some of it tonight. And I have been to other countries, but it's more of, taking that humble and vulnerable lead. Stand for it, like speak with intention. Now we're going to do this. Not like, so now I would like you to, let's stand up and dance, shall we? You see how I sound right now? Or you hear how I sound? Yeah. Versus, okay, ladies and gentlemen, right now, let's get up from our seats. I'm not telling you yet that we're going to dance. And 1 second here, let's put your hands out like this. Feel that you're holding something really heavy. They are standing there feeling, okay, what are we supposed to do? Then comes the cue to music, and now shake that ass. And they're standing there kind of smiling and thinking, are you serious? But I'm already standing there shaking it, and I'm kind of going up to some people and shaking it. So, the ripple effect. Once a few start doing it, are you going to be the only one not doing it?
No, very good. And do you do coaching as well?
Yeah.
So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I can do a lot of coaching. I do coach individuals, and also I go into companies to do company coaching as well. But maybe I could keep it to individuals here, where it's really this thing of, I want you to start be unstoppable at what you want to do. Do more of what you truly want to do than what you think that you have to do. Many times it comes down to this point of, but how shall I start? And that's where I'm focusing most on. How can you start doing this with excellence? Really. We have so many things in our minds that how. Stop thinking about the how. Just break down the what. What is it you would like to do? Well, I don't really know. Like now it's the new year and a lot of new goals. People tell me this, I would love to get fitter. I'm like, that sounds fantastic. That's a nice wish to get fitter. What does get fitter mean? And then I would break that down, coach. But in general, I have this kind of mixed coaching and mentoring approach where I take an active role next to you and really getting you going, rather than come to me for 1 hour type of sessions and then you're off by yourself for the next week. But I do coach individuals in this, and I'm using techniques such as storytelling, public speaking, what we're talking about right now. Great tool and a technique to use to gain confidence, yourself, gain leadership, speak your thoughts, speak your mind. That's a tool I'm using. Personal branding, both online and offline. What are your values and beliefs, and what is it you actually want people to see yourself as? How do you express yourself on social media, for instance? And next to that is just this thing of have fun. When we take life so serious, we don't go far. But when we loosening it up a little bit, but take it serious to live life, then it becomes better.
Oh, very good, very good. And even with the coaching as well, having kind of like a 360 thing, because sometimes you have coaching coming in and they just talk about the business side of things, but when you're talking about the health side of things and everything, that's how people change their lives.
Fitness, health, working out, they gotta be there.
Yeah.
You can't just do one and another. Like, some people ask me this, so Erik, are you a mindset coach? Really? Like, isn't every coaching directed towards mindset? Yeah, it is. Yeah, but what type of coach are you? Like a life coach? Well, you can call that too, but right now life is everything, right? Yeah, but what type of coach are you then? Well, let's put it this way. I'm a personal branding coach, if I can put a title on it. But I'm also the guy who I'm trying to get people off using titles. People tell me, what are you doing? I give speeches and coaching to people to get them doing what they truly want to do. That's my answer many, many times. Oh, okay. So you're like a life coach then. Now, if they want to put a title on it, that's fine. They want to use it, but I didn't. I told you what I was doing, and I was told you what I was doing for you. The same thing when people tell me, "Oh, you are such a motivation speaker. You are a motivation speaker." I have never said it myself. I just do it that way.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's excellent. And how can people get in contact with you? What's the best way to?
Oh, I love the old-fashioned. Pick up the phone and give me a call. And yeah, okay, we're living in 2019, so I have to be honest. Instagram, LinkedIn, emails is the absolute best way to get in touch with me. And that's Erik Inspiration. That's my social handle. You can find me on Erik Inspiration with a K, since I'm super Swedish. You can find me that way anywhere around on the web. So that's the best way.
And with the pictures that I put up and everything, I'll tag you so that they'll be able to.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah. And maybe you might just, as we're finishing out, you might tell how does a guy from Sweden end up in Barcelona? Are you like nomadic or?
Am I nomadic? I have a drive for exploring the world, I believe, and I am so not for the cold. I love the heat. So Barcelona came to me as okay, I love it. It's warm. It's cold. I know it's not that cold, but the sea, the mountain, the airport, the vibe. It's still a largest big city. How did I get there? Well, I followed through on my own thoughts and ideas, although literally everyone around me, including family, was like, okay, are you sure? Be careful. We don't want you to get hurt. You can't do this. I've heard that most of my life, that you can't do that. But I always kind of sat down and thought to myself, like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to give it a try. Like now, I'm giving speeches. People told me, like, are you crazy? Giving speeches? Who's going to pay you for giving a speech, Erik? You don't have experience giving speeches. What education have you taken? Do you have do you have a master's degree in how to give speeches? I'm like, that's bullshit. You don't have a master's degree in speeches. Nobody's going to hire you for that. But I do have 13 years of experience taking charge of myself, getting out there, traveling the world. Now Barcelona is my 9th country that I've lived in.
Oh, nice.
This is what gives me the credibility because of the experience. So that's how I'm doing what I'm doing now. Why I'm doing it? I just have had this feeling of I really want to live. There are many things that are happening in my life, and I'm watching others around me. You switch on the news one day, and the only thing you see is drama, death, and negativity. I just felt like, come on. I love it when people give me a smile on the street, even a stranger, and saying hi.
I have an easy solution for that. I learned it years ago.
Yeah?
I don't switch on the news.
Yeah, I have the same one.
And because we actually mentioned it on our journey here, about payment, people getting paid for speeches and stuff like that. So you might tell, because some people, they think, oh, I learn how to speak and I can get 30,000 a speech.
Yeah.
You might let people know what's the actual.
Okay, yeah, but this is a very good question. Like, how do I do that? How do I get out and all this? It's really about give more than you take, or give first and take second, by being genuine. There's so many, I remember how I was asked into a meeting and said, okay, can you give us tips on how to get more speaking gigs and getting paid? Because of course we all need to live on money, right? First of all, it comes to you. Your own relationship to money is a deep one to look at. I had a very bad relationship to money. It has been since I was little. It's in my family, how our relationship to money is like. So when people ask me to do something, I didn't think that I was worthy to be paid to do it. This is a mindset that is not going to help me at all, right? Yeah. So this starts right there. Start having a great relationship with money. Get a coach, get a mentoring on getting a better relationship with money. Second after that is, show up. Get out there, go to networking events, do whatever, and start talking. It doesn't have to be big from the beginning. I don't think any speaker that in this planet started in front of 1,000 people. Everybody doesn't want to speak in front of 1,000 people either, but it's thing of, we start small. I started with my own small workshops, my own small events for 6 to 8 people. That's how I started.
Okay.
But in these events, people started still like, oh, he's good. He's very good. And now they start asking, how much do you charge? And remember now, if my relationship to money is bad, that question prompts an answer that's going to be like, well, you know, maybe, what do you think? €100, something like this. And then they will feel like, okay, because we have this thing today, expensive means good, cheap means not so good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's going on like that.
That right.
But now, and I started with thinking, how long is the speech? Say 1 hour. And then I said, okay, I can break it down. So 1 hour, say, I charge you €80. That's how I started. Until, again, someone who is much further ahead of me, who's already delivered better results, the results that I wanted, just sent me a message, I think it was LinkedIn, and said, don't charge for the hour, because you will have to prepare, you have to deliver, you have to take care of everything afterwards. It's not an hour job. Charging per hour is not helping. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, that's true. Charge for the result you want to, or they want to receive. Don't care if it's 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. And now I'm charging, say, I'm going into a company and individuals of course differs because of the different payment structures and how they're invoicing. But now I'm thinking, do you want to learn how to change your life in a 30-minute speech from me? And you have come to this event and say you paid €300 to be there? You're seriously committed to learn how to change your life, if that's one thing. Or if you want to learn how to use LinkedIn and you paid, say, €160 for 1 hour on learning how to do this, and I know that I can help you do this, and the result by you doing this would be tremendous. You can start charging for your business and so forth. I am going to charge you a couple of €100 for that for sure. I have a rate that goes over €1,000 for speeches as well. But it all comes down to what's the result you want. How committed are you to get what you want? And there will be people saying, no, that's too much. And of course, then you have to say no. But there will be people saying, okay, that's fine. That's exactly what I was expecting from you. Coming down to this thing of, with you, with your experience, your quality, your own character. But that comes a little bit later, and that's why it's so important that we all, when, say, you start speaking and so forth, show your entire character relentlessly at all times. People are watching it, and it's for the quality. They will finally come back to you and say, like, I love how you do that. Can you please come? And then you can charge. Again, going back to the first step. What's your relationship to that money, though? Don't underestimate that one.
I love it. That's an excellent answer.
All right. So the tip is, don't charge for the hour. Please don't charge for the hour. Think of the result, the preparation, all these things you're going to take in to deliver that result. Take that into consideration.
Yeah. And like, even as you're building, before you even charge, you're just giving your heart out. You're giving value constantly. And like, I've noticed that actually. Like, every time I'm doing this, I always think of, will this benefit the people? I don't do a speech for the sake of it. And I see that so much times, and it makes me cringe. People are doing a speech to go through a project or whatever. They don't really care about the other people. But I think as long as you're constantly thinking of the audience, and like, you get plenty of opportunities, like a lot of, like I get 20 to 30 opportunities of people who want to do business with me just because they see how I am and my ethics and everything. And it's the same with the speaker. If you plan on charging, so what you just said is fantastic. So.
And you see too, right, when there's a person standing up there in front of you, it doesn't matter if it's just in a little meeting room or in front of on a big stage, who cares about him or herself more than you. And doing that, I know there are way too many people on this planet that speak before they think. They speak about things that they shouldn't speak about. I take my argument 100% down on that one. Communication skills is like the second highest demand today. And we're talking communication skills often face to face. Because we are so disconnected from doing that. But then again, how many times, how many events aren't there around the world where there's a speaker? There are many, right?
Yeah.
But how come then that the majority of these events, people find them annoying or a waste of time?
Yeah.
They are boring. How come that that's happening if there are so many events with speakers on? Because speakers aren't that good.
Or else they have a sneaky pitch they're coming across.
Yeah.
And then at the end they're going, we've only got 20 sales for this thing, and after the 20 is gone, and you'll see 50 people and they're still selling. And when I see that, I lose total respect for a speaker when they're doing the kind of takeaway approach.
I mean, like, speaking to sell is of course, I mean, we do speak to sell in one way. We definitely do. I mean, my main business after the speaking comes my own events where you're signing up for a smaller coaching sessions and so forth. So we will have to have that ability to feel comfortable again to sell ourselves when we stand there speaking. But what you said here, I think, is if you're saying that you're selling for 20 spots and then you're spotting there that maybe I can get a little bit more, and you're starting to go for 50, that's when your character is starting to be diluted really quick. I can feel that one.
Yeah, and like I'm just curious about that as well, because I see sometimes like a speaker's on stage and they're talking about, and then at the end they go in for the.
Yeah.
Whereas I believe if you have something to sell, I like to say it up front and just say, or in between and everything, rather than what's your own kind of approach to that?
I can say, like, first of all, I had a real hard time doing that from the beginning. I was told, Erik, you need to sell yourself better. I just gave and gave and gave. That's a really toxic way of working. You'll never get anything back, because if you can get things for free, you will take it for free, right?
Of course.
My way of doing this is I'm genuinely, 100% genuinely starting with, I'm just going to give you something here. I know I want to give you something here. I want it. I want you to walk away from this. But then at the end, I do also have this thing of, and you would like to commit to take this further. If you find this truly interesting for yourself, like even this podcast right here, if you think this is what could benefit you towards getting your goals defined and getting them done, then get in touch. Please, I would love to be that one who kick your ass, honestly. But see, this is my sales pitch right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Without being ladies and gentlemen, you get 20% off if you're signing up in the next 2 hours after this podcast.
Exactly.
This is just not, it's worked a lot in the 90s, early 2000s, it worked a lot. That's how we were selling at that time. But today, the world has transformed. It has changed into this thing of build relationships. It's such a high focus on that, meaning we will have to be more authentic. We will have to be more vulnerable. So I don't want to force you to do this anymore. I want you to take that choice yourself.
But when someone does it like that, I love it, because if I see you're giving value, like even before this, you were just doing a few different things. I could see you can give great value in the content that you've given. For me, if I was in the audience and I didn't know you, I would sign up for something, because the way you just said it.
Yeah.
But prior to that, the way people do the kind of, they've got a software program to buy or something like that, and
and if they believe in it, it's I had a vocal coaching session just the other day, and she said the same things that I've been thinking so long. Connect your words with your emotions. Don't impose by trying to lean forward or lean back and all this stuff. You don't have to shout, you don't have to do anything. If you connect what you're saying with an intention, meaning your emotions, and you say it, like, I really would like to help you because if you believe in this, I really would like to help you. That's my intention. I'm believing in this. I have connected to my emotions. But if I'm not connected to my emotions now, I would be, okay, and because this is the greatest program out there, and then you can get it, and then you can purchase it for like 1,200 euros, but now comes the question, you will feel me straight away. Is it really the greatest program out there? Do you believe it's the greatest program out there? It doesn't sound like that. And then it comes across as salesy.
And like you mentioned about the vocal teaching there, like you're a very experienced speaker and you're still sharpening your saw.
Oh yeah.
And I just like people to realize that you don't just kind of, like I heard of one guy, he was speaking in Toastmasters for 2 years, took a year off, came back and expected to be at the same level, and he said he bombed. But like I'm the same, I do a lot of courses, I just constantly want to improve. But it's brilliant to hear that you're actually doing the vocal. My plan this year is to take singing lessons, because I think that will help me.
You're with the same track as me.
I think it will help me project my voice.
Oh yeah. I'm the same. I have been talking about taking improv sessions for a while, just to get this entertaining bit even more out there. Singing classes has been on my agenda as well. But what happened was, actually I've been talking about this, and at one point last year I lost my voice before I had to go to Geneva and give a talk. And I was like, oh my God. And I said that on my Instagram. And it was one of my followers who is taking acting and vocal classes who just said, hey, I can help you if you want. Do you want to have a chat? I'm like, wow, like this is where you see how if you are genuine, but every part, not every part, but parts of your life so that people can really see that you are honest, you're authentic. You're just not saying it as a trendy word. They offer you the help. And I know myself, like taking singing classes, of course it would help me to breathe better. And that vocal session with her, yeah, there's so much technique out there. And of course, I have that rule in mind that if I'm going to help you to be unstoppable and living a fulfilling life yourself, I'm going to try to do that for myself as well. And I just want to sharpen that axe, as you said. Speaking, I need to find a way of being a better speaker. Coaching, I'm getting coaching myself on how can I coach myself better, how can I understand myself better, and then how can I coach others better. Again, there are many people out there, self-proclaimed experts, specialists, coaches, who have spent a few hours on an online course, and that's it.
I know that, yeah. And they're the ones that actually charge the most sometimes.
Yeah. They speak a lot and charge a lot, but I read this book from, what's his name? Think and Grow Rich. And he said, he says it in there too, like, there are a lot of people speaking out there today, but be careful. The more they speak, the less they know.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some people they're going to talk promoting business and stuff like that have never worked in a business. Yeah. And that's how they make money, going around on a speaking stage. The way I look at it is I try to look at the person that's coaching me, and if have they got a great relationship with their kids or with their spouse? Exactly. Are they healthy looking? Because sometimes you'll see a doctor telling you about health and they're obese, and so you just look at the person and just look, are they really genuine? Are they nice?
Yeah.
And then they're perhaps the right coach for you.
And it's, as much as in this podcast I have been making a number of arguments myself that I know some people out there will not like it. They will not like it. And just like you said in the car, some people will love you or hate you.
Exactly.
Get comfortable with the idea. That's just truth. Get comfortable with the idea that there will be people not liking you.
Exactly.
And I stand up for what I say. You don't like it? Okay. There are other people on this planet who say what you would like to hear. Go with them.
Exactly. Perfect. Listen, it's been fantastic. Thank you very much, and I look forward to you speaking tonight in the club.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be I'm gonna turn up the heat in this country. Thank you so much, Ryan. Awesome.
Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed the episode that I had with Erik. Tonight I'm actually going to deliver a social speech as part of one of my projects, and the club has asked can they play it live, which I've agreed. But I've also decided I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to do a speech that I've never done, and I'll tell you more about it next week. So as mentioned previously, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Speaking Podcast, and you'll get some tips and tricks on each one of them. Our website is speakingpodcast.com, and be sure to share and give a positive review. Thank you very much for listening.